I've been working on a top secret project for the last 2 years, and it is finally time to share it with you. I am so excited, but this journey has not been easy at all. There were plenty of people that told me that this wouldn't work, but their reasons were just so crazy to me that I have done it anyway. I launched my YouTube channel way back in 2017, and in 2021 I met a man called Jerome on board the Queen Mary 2. Jerome is an author who was on board doing some research about cruising, and he's worked on lots and lots of interesting projects. He suggested to me back then, all the way back in 2021, that it might be a good idea to create some books around our mascot Captain Hudson. At the time, I just outright dismissed it and I didn't think about it for years. I thought to myself that would be very cool, but I honestly had no idea if anyone would be interested in this Captain Hudson idea. At this point, he was just a logo and a nickname for my real cat Hudson, who would often join us on the live streams. This is the real Hudson, by the way. This is the guy who started it all. He has no idea of his fame. The Captain Hudson idea never left my mind. I was very curious, but I did want to see if there was a way that I could kind of test the waters to see if other people would love Captain Hudson as much as me. I was listening to a podcast about a charity called Mercy Ships and an idea hit me. My idea was to make toys out of Captain Hudson and to donate all of the profits from these toys to charity. In total, we've raised £104,000 so far and have no plans to stop anytime soon. The money created from these toys will always benefit a charity of some sort. I love that. I was absolutely blown away by the fact that people loved Captain Hudson as much as me. If you want to play a game, count how many times I say Captain Hudson in this video, because it is going to be a lot. Seeing everybody take these toys on their cruises and giving Hudson adventures, sending me pictures and drawings, it just opened my eyes to how much more Captain Hudson could be. He was already having these experiences, so it made sense, to me anyway, to write them down. I knew absolutely nothing about books, nothing at all, but I remembered Jerome and his crazy idea that he had years ago. Jerome is the kind of person who takes an idea and runs with it, and he thought that it was a great idea. Jerome loves Captain Hudson just as much as me, and it really felt as though he understood him. I didn't want to trust just anybody with the mascot that so many of us had grown to know and to love, but I knew Jerome would make Captain Hudson always kind and smart and funny and cool. I took the idea to multiple people across the publishing industry, and I was told, "We're not convinced about the crossover between kids and cruising. We don't think it would work." I was given the chance to pitch this to publishers, but I was told that it would be nearly impossible to convince them that kids like going on cruises. It was very tempting to show them the statistics that over 8 million under 18s cruise a year, and the fact that adults can of course read these books that we were planning to make, but honestly it just felt like a lost cause and it was very depressing. They also said that it would take well over a year to see the first book, and I just thought to myself, this is the internet, I have so many ideas, I want to share them. I guess I'll try and find out a way I can do this by myself. The worst part of all for me was that they said that they might want to change Captain Hudson in some way. Maybe they would make him a dog, maybe they would change his name to Bertie. I had no idea, but I was not willing to take that risk. That was really the final straw, and I decided I would be going it alone. Jerome and I have spent the last couple of years working on this book series, travelling to see each other to share ideas and to write the books. Jerome would come down to the seaside to see me, I'd go up to his office, and we would even take Captain Hudson out too. I honestly had no idea how much goes into writing books like this, just how many revisions of every single thing we would need, but luckily I had the ideas and Jerome had the technical know-how. The first book is the origin story, and it's about how a cat called Hudson became captain of a cruise ship that is entirely staffed by different animals and where children are the only guests. They of course get up to all kinds of interesting things, and Captain Hudson is always there to make sure that everyone has a great cruise. The second book in the series is about his adventures in Alaska, and the third book is a guide to cruising for kids. Please ignore the fact that these say not for resale, these are just some of my proof copies. I promise they won't say that. My hope is that if you or your kids have a cruise coming up, Captain Hudson's adventures will make you very excited. If your kids have never been on a cruise before, I hope it'll be a good tool to help them prepare. Although real cruise ships aren't staffed by animals, of course, it's usually humans. Maybe one day Captain Hudson will be there to greet kids as they get on the ship. Maybe the kids' clubs could be Captain Hudson themed. I have no idea. The sky is the limit, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm just so excited. I love Captain Hudson so much, and I hope you do too. We decided on paper to make the books for people who are 8 and older. They are proper story books, they're not picture books, and apparently books are supposed to have a sort of age. I say 8 and older because even if you're an adult, I personally think that these are fantastic. I've read them so many times and they still make me laugh. People younger than 8 can read them too, of course, they just might need some help with some of the words, or you could always read them to them. The real Hudson is 11, but he still can't read the books. I can read them to him though, and he's been very much involved in this process. When we had the first draft of the stories put together, our next task was finding an illustrator. In total, I hired 32 different people to create Captain Hudson before I found the one that I really loved. Quite a lot of the drawings made Captain Hudson just look a bit sad and pathetic. Captain Hudson is a kitten in the first book, but even still, Captain Hudson is like a superhero. He's cool, he's calm, he's always kind, and he's definitely not scary or sad like some of these pictures made him look. After about 1,000,000 rounds of editing and squashing what Jerome likes to call bookworms, we are ready to publish these books ourselves. We are taking a massive risk here, but I think that it's worth it, and I hope that you will too. By the time you see this video, we will have at least these 3 books ready to buy, perhaps even more because we have started writing the next ones already. At the moment, we have extra books planned about Norway, about the Caribbean, even a Christmas book coming, and I really hope you'll love them as much as I do. Just head to emmacruises.com/books to get your copies, or just search for Captain Hudson on Amazon. He's going to be available on all the different Amazons. They'll be printed and then sent directly to you. If you'd like to watch a video which is more my normal kind of content, check out this one next. This is the cruise that I met Jerome on board the Queen Mary 2, and it's so funny how things just happen sometimes. Imagine if I didn't take that cruise, if I didn't bump into Jerome, Captain Hudson wouldn't exist, we wouldn't have raised all that money for charity, we wouldn't have books, he wouldn't even be an idea. It's crazy to think about, but I'm so glad everything has worked out the way that it has. I'll see you there.